Hey, what's up guys? Kevin here. In this video, I want to share with you guys 5 steps for learning snowboard tricks safely and progressing in the terrain park. These are 5 steps that I always use when riding in the park. I think it helps me to learn snowboard tricks faster and also to be safe while I'm doing them. So the first step is to definitely come up the mountain for the park prepared. So having your snowboard set up with your park stance, and then also having your safety gear on, so helmet, and I also wear crash pants. I can't count the number of times my safety gear has saved me from an injury, so I highly recommend it. And I think it also gives you more confidence to go for tricks knowing that your park board is set up properly and that you're wearing all your safety gear. The second step is to inspect the park and snow conditions. My first lap through the park, I always take a look at all the different features, inspecting the takeoffs and landings, making sure that everything is made well, and also just to have a mental image in my head so that I know what the features look like when I go to hit them and attempt tricks. You also want to inspect the snow conditions. So for riding in the terrain park, it's ideal that you have soft snow or even slushy. When the conditions are icy, that's just going to increase the chances of getting injured because icy snow is so unforgiving. So definitely try to ride the park when the snow conditions are good, either soft or slushy snow. The third step is to stack your tricks. So what I mean by this is you want to learn the basics first and then start adding on to that. For example, I was building up this past week to 360s. So I started off with a day of straight airs and grabs. Then I moved on to 180s and then finally onto 360s. And by stacking tricks like that, you don't miss any steps and there's no gaps in your riding. That's just the best way to have a well-rounded bag of tricks, being able to do all the grabs, being able to do all the 180s, and then move on from there. You can definitely skip steps, but then it makes it harder to go back and then fill in those gaps. So the easiest and safest way to learn tricks is by stacking one on top of the next. The fourth step is to ride in the park with some friends. By riding with friends, you'll have people that can push your riding or inspire you to try new tricks. You'll also have friends that you can ask questions to if you're trying a trick and you can't get it. It's great to have somebody watch you and then give you feedback on the trick of what you may be doing wrong or what you need to add in. Something that's been huge for me is to have friends that can film me so that as I'm riding through the park, if somebody's filming me, I can go back, watch the footage, and then see what I'm doing right or what I'm doing wrong, and then make adjustments from there. I think riding with a crew of friends in the park is maybe the most important because it gives you that inspiration and enjoyment to keep learning tricks and progressing in the park. The final step is the mental game in the terrain park. A lot of times snowboarding in the terrain park, you can put a lot of pressure on yourself, especially when you're not landing a trick. You start to be hard on yourself and you're criticizing your riding and you don't understand what's happening. So I find that if I'm putting too much pressure on myself, it's good to take a step back, do something that I enjoy in snowboarding, whether it's free riding or just doing some of the tricks that are easier and more fun to do. And then later when you come back to some of those tricks that you're trying to learn, you have a fresh perspective and that can help you to land the trick. Another mental challenge in the terrain park is knowing when to push your riding, but also knowing when to scale it back. I know that sometimes you're in the park and you're feeling good and you're getting tricks and that's the best time to be pushing your riding. But then when it's later in the day and you're starting to lose energy and maybe the park isn't in the same condition it was before, that's a good time to call it a day or to just detune your riding. So that mental side I think is huge and is a good way to keep you safe, knowing when to push yourself and then knowing when to scale your riding down. I hope these 5 things will help you guys be safe in the terrain park and learn snowboard tricks. If I missed anything, it'd be great to hear from you guys down in the comments. Also, next week we're going to Bear Mountain, California, so lots of time to ride in the park next week. If you guys like this video, make sure to like and subscribe. Thank you guys so much for watching. Have fun with your snowboarding, and I'll see you in the next one soon.